Hello, and welcome to today's episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast where we help you build a thriving business. With me, Anna Angelova, a business coach and consultant, and my co host, Joris Minusvan, who is here with me today for this episode.
Hi, Anna. Happy to be here.
Oh, so happy to have you here.
Yeah.
So, today, as you know, it's Friday, so it's the last day for the theme we have this week, which is intelligent growth. And what we have in store is a very interesting topic, and a topic that we're actually right now in the midst of, in a way.
Mhm.
And this is all about digital employee onboarding. So, how do you onboard your new team and your new employees? And we just signed with our first partner, in a way, contractor. And we're really excited to do some of these things ourselves.
Mhm.
And as usual, when it comes to any kind of digitalization, and automation,
Mhm.
the first thing we start with is always having the process dialed in.
Yeah, it's very important.
It is like
Yeah.
you need to know what the onboarding process looks like before you apply the software on top of it, before you add any kind of technology on top of it. And some of the things that you need to really figure out and make sure that you cover are: what do new hires need to know, what they need to do, and even how they need to feel in their first week. So really think about it. And this would be different for different people you hire. Of course, like what they need to know and do can vary even for a small business based on the different responsibilities they have and how they need to feel as well. Yes, it might be more or less the same thing for everyone you hire, but it might also depend on the job they have. And then once you're clear on the process itself, of course, another thing you want to consider is what kind of documents they need, what kind of access, logins, mm, what kind of introductions they need to have to other people in your team, to vendors, even partners,
Mhm.
and what kind of, if you have any kind of standard operating process, manuals and procedures and things like this, what are they so that they need to actually read and get familiar with? And ultimately, one of the biggest ones is as well, when you think about the whole process of onboarding someone new, is who owns what. Who's responsible for different parts of the onboarding process itself, but then also when the new hire comes, like what are they responsible for? Who's responsible to help them with the different things of the onboarding?
Mhm.
And this is ultimately, again, figuring out the onboarding process itself before you start adding any kind of technology. Want to add anything to this, Joris?
It also shortens the learning curve. Instead of confusion and asking questions for the first 6 months and annoying everybody around them, the new employee knows exactly what they're doing and everything related to what they're doing and what they need to learn, all the security certificates they need to get, all the access control, like you mentioned, and that's all streamlined. Then they need to they will focus on applying the skills that you hired them for in doing their job, what they were hired for, rather than rummaging around the pile of unorganized documents, trying to figure things out,
Activities, yeah.
read six documents to for numbers 16 to be the one that they need. That's not efficient. So it's all about efficiency, right? So
Yeah, that's why I would say if you don't actually have an onboarding process, if you haven't designed an onboarding process for your new hires, this is a sign for you to go to the drawing board and design one. And it doesn't have to be perfect, of course, as everything we've shared before, 80/20. 80%, if it's 80%, then implement it with your next hires and they will give you feedback. They'll tell you, oh, this one is a bit confusing. I don't understand it. You realize that, oh, we should have ordered some things in a different way, or we forgot to add this login information. So as it goes live, as you hire new people and repeat the process over and over again, you will, of course, get to refine it.
refine, yeah. And it's all about the employee and their experience as well. It's you don't want them to be overwhelmed getting onboarded rather than because they have to learn a lot.
Yes, it's a new environment, it's a new team,
It's a new
absolutely.
team, new environment. So you give them and how many people have we spoken with? They hired a few people didn't work out. They don't realize that they didn't work out. It wasn't because they are. We talked about this hire the right person as well, but not having these procedures, it will be failure for both sides. You may find the right person with the right fit to your culture and your needs. If you don't onboard them properly, they'll be useless to you.
Oh, absolutely. It's really important. And you're right that we had a conversation before talking about hiring the right way, and onboarding is a very key part of the whole process. And one thing is that most small businesses, including us right now where we are, we don't need a full onboarding platform to start with. And in our case, we have OneDrive. We might even use Google Drive at some point. And this is what ultimately you need. You need a Google Drive or OneDrive, a secure way to share different documents, even record some training videos if you want. So this way, as you hire new people, instead of you explaining to them the same thing over and over again, they can go and watch that video. You can add some HR forms in there, the decks that talk about the company, the culture, even welcome messages, and you can just call it a onboarding hub or something like this. Just have a folder, and that's it. This is how you can start, and this is what we're doing as well. We do not have the software right now, and we are at the moment we're not even looking at the software because this is the first time we are onboarding someone to the team, and we really want to create our own process. We want to refine it. We want to see how it looks like for us before we start looking at possible solutions, softwares, and things like this.
Yeah, if you give them the right framework, most of the time they also bring their own organization skills, their own processes, which, like you said, it would improve what you are looking for.
Yeah.
So just the key is to give them the right framework for them not to waste time, right? To get at the bare minimum what you want them to know as a standard operating procedure, rules and guidelines, all the security stuff, whether physical or digital, give them all of that and then get them to hit the ground running faster, sooner to
Yeah.
production.
Yeah,
It's
and again, you don't need a software, you don't need a tool to begin with. All these things can be documented in just a Word document or Google Doc and shared through a shared folder. And again, as you go through this process over and over again, as you get feedback from people who go through this process, you refine it, and then it's the time to go and say, okay, what can we use, what software is there. And nowadays, you can be sure that it's full of options, like from options for small businesses like us to big corporations. You've probably seen, is it Workday, that commercial with the rock stars?
Yeah, the Workday.
Yeah. And uh, again, we've mentioned this before, but as a small business, you don't have to go and copy the big ones. Really need, like, go to see what your needs are, what your process is, and explore from there. Yes, of course, you want to look and find uh, what do you call it, like, not established. I don't know if established is a good word, but even established can be a proven
Yeah.
tool. Yeah, a proven tool, a proven software. And there are a lot of them. I was actually checking some for preparation for today, and I think it was Talmundo that I looked at. And very interestingly, it looks like it was acquired by a bigger HR software. And very interestingly, one of the things I loved about it, what they were mentioning as some of the features and capabilities, was not just the onboarding, pre-boarding, which we talked about it. I think we mentioned it in one of the episodes, how what happens is people nowadays they get hired by someone, they sign the contract, and they don't show up for day one because they've signed the contract with someone else, and they don't even show up to day one. And this is where pre-boarding actually, we said how important it is to engage from the moment someone signs the contract with you, to engage with them and start the onboarding process in a way. So there are definitely options. Bamboo HR, I think, is another one. And as I said, we haven't really started looking into this too much to see for ourselves and what's out there on the market. And our recommendation as consultants, business consultants, as expert with IT experience is to look for what fits your needs and where your business is. But also one of the things, can it grow with you? And Joris, I know you did
Exactly.
one thing.
Scalable. Yeah, you don't want to restart halfway through. You go from a team of 2 to 5 with a tool, and then all of a sudden you hit a team of 15. Then this thing doesn't work, or it becomes too expensive. So do the right due diligence. Scalable. Does the price scale work for you? What for your future plans? And this is what we
we help. Yeah, we help as well. Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen Workday fail at one of the world's largest global companies with 180,000 users. Workday failed. And well, as a platform, it didn't fail. The implementation failed.
Of course.
Because it wasn't designed properly and it wasn't used for the right process. So it's when you are small enough that you can put the proper checks and balances and framework in place, proper scalable framework in place, then it really becomes a healthy platform for you to scale on.
So this is very important, and I know we've mentioned it before. If you are facing a decision like this, reach out, let us know. We might be able to help you and really guide you in this process. And the truth is that hiring is your first leadership moment. Like with every new hire, that onboarding process is your first leadership moment, and getting it right, it allows you to build trust, to build a culture and performance from day one. And that's why we're having this conversation today, and a reminder that it always starts with people first, processes second, and then technology is last.
Always. I had a conversation today with a very large client who was jumping to technology, and for the 5th or 6th time in the past 8 years, they're making repeating the same mistake.
The same mistake, yeah.
Over and over and over, and you will never yield results. Get the right people into the room, build the right process, and then build the technology to
add technology on top of it, yeah, to accelerate, to enable, to
streamline.
Streamline things. So
makes sense.
We'll be happy to hear any what your biggest takeaways are actually from today's conversation. And as I said, reach out if you need help with any of these things. This is what we do every day with our clients, small, mid-sized businesses, where we help them refine their processes and double sales, triple sales, even 10x if they want it, and at the same time, free time for the business owners. So we're here for you. I'll add a link to our website so you can go and check and see what we do. And we will be back tomorrow with a recap of the week, where if you're a regular listener, you know that on Saturdays we share our biggest takeaways from the last 5 episodes and give you a chance to see if you missed anything, whether it's interesting, so you can go back and listen to it. So this is it for today. Thank you, Joris, for being part of the conversation.
And forget about the yellow assessment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When you go to the website, actually, you'll see that one of the things we offer is a complimentary leadership assessment. So you can check it if you want, if you're curious, and see what it is, and if it's something that you want to try. A very good reminder. So bye for today, and we'll be back tomorrow with the recap for the week. Thanks, Joris.
Bye. Thank you.